going to do a little bit of work on a chair. So this is something that you could take into your everyday life, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day. So you could just remember these little moves, and when you've been sitting for a prolonged period, and that can be classed as 20 minutes. But we sit a lot longer than 20 minutes. You begin to stiffen up and your body starts to form habits. So it's quite good to have these regular little breaks. It might just be moving the neck, it might be moving the shoulders. I'm just going to show you a few sort of options that you can take away with you. Here goes. So all you need is a chair. So when you're seated to begin with, it's really important to make sure that your feet can touch the ground. And it's also important to think about how you're sitting. So we've looked at this before. That's a general normal kind of seating position. That's not what we want. We want to tilt the pelvis. Thinking about that bowl of water in the pelvic girdle, and you don't want to be tipping any of that water out. So if you're slumping like this, or you're sitting leaning to the side, if that water's tipping out of your pelvis, not good. So we want to keep our sitting bones on the seat, feet flat to the ground. So there's a slight bit of core engagement already, and just by drawing the spine up long, you can feel muscles in your back having to recruit. Now, you're not having to work at that. Your body knows what to do, and it will naturally do it, providing you are sitting correctly. So you are now, if you're sitting like this, sitting in with really good posture, good alignment, therefore strengthening the correct muscles. The longer you sit like that, the more you put stress into the neck, into the shoulders. You're putting a big weight onto the neck here. So this is going to create that added tension in the neck and in the shoulders just by having the head down. So try as much as possible. It might be that you need to lift your monitor if you're working at a computer. So we don't want to be like this all the time. But if you are, there's little solutions. So let's begin. So sit however you are comfortable with your hands. We've just talked about how our pelvis is and how our shoulders are nice and relaxed, back and down, head is lifted. And we'll just begin with the neck. So let's start up at the top. So a good thing to do now and again is just to lift the head up and just give the neck a little bit of movement. So it's really hard if you're having to write at a desk. You've got your head down all the time. But just lift the head now and again, just relieve those muscles. You may want to just give the neck a little bit of a massage with the hands. So just turning from side to side, so that's like your no, and then again up and down like your yes position. Nice and slow, and don't take the head too far up if it doesn't feel right for you. And then dropping the ear to the shoulder. You might want to pause just to allow that to release, really stiff. You might feel a real difference on one side to the other. You may not. Some crunching and some cracking. So this is something you can do anytime. Give yourself a few minutes just to break. And you don't have to do this full thing, but if your neck's a bit sore, just move it around. You might want to give it some gentle circles. So imagining you drawing circles or a spiral. You have a pencil on your nose. And take it back the other way. And again, just take these circles or the spiral if you want to start small and get bigger. As big as is comfortable for you. So it might be that if you feel a bit dizzy, you might not want to make big circles, but keep them slow and steady. And come back to centre. A really good one for strengthening these muscles, because quite often if we're sitting like this all the time, these muscles start to stretch. And you'll tighten up at the front of the neck. So what we want to do is try and strengthen the muscles at the back of the neck. So the way we can do this is by drawing the chin forward, lowering the head, and then drawing the chin back like you're making a double chin. So it's like a spinal wave through the neck. using those muscles to lift the head back up. And if you do find with your posture that your head drops forward slightly, a really good thing to do is to stand against the wall and draw the head back so that your shoulders, your hips and your heels are in contact with the wall, and you just draw and hold. So chin tucking, draw the head back. This helps to recruit these muscles at the back of the neck and obviously bring your body into alignment. Okay, so that's the neck. Obviously we all know shoulder rolls. Just take time to just do a few shoulder rolls when you're sitting down. If you've been sitting like this for a while, just really stretch, and there's no set rule to how you do this, just do what feels good. So you might do one at a time, you might want to do them both at the same time and really squeeze them up and then release. So really tighten and then release. So move around, keep it nice and fluid. And another good thing to do, take a deep breath in, interlace the fingers at the top. You can turn the palms to face the ceiling and just stretch. Enjoy a really good stretch. You can never do too much stretching, I don't think. Well, probably can. You can do too much of anything these days, even eating carrots, I've heard recently. Not good. Draw the hands back and release. And again, you might want to go back to just giving yourself a little shoulder roll. So it's nothing complicated, it's just creating a bit of movement in your day. So again, another good one, because head down, rounded, you want to open the chest back up. So really focus on when you are sitting up, drawing those shoulders back. So imagine you've got a muscle at the front, a muscle at the back. Draw the muscles at the back, contract the muscles in the back, and draw, feel the shoulders move back. And also when you do that, there's a slight engagement in the trapezius muscles, so the muscles between the shoulder blades. And you can take this further, interlacing the fingers behind the back and drawing the knuckles down. So just sitting for a moment while you're doing this, have a read of whatever's on your computer, have a stretch. Oh, very interesting. Oh, now I've got to send that email. And if you want to take that a little bit further to get a really good stretch down, you can lower the head there, keeping the posture correct, keeping the chest open, and just feel that stretch down the back of the neck. You might want to take that back up. Release. Again, shoulder roll. Do what feels good. And then another really good opening is a seated fish. So we're going to take the hands behind. I'm going to hold onto the back of the chair. And as you can see already, my chest lifts. So I'm still focusing on keeping my body in good alignment. I'll turn this way to show you. Nice and tall. Just holding on to something to give myself that extra bit of lift. And if you want to, just take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then release that. And to counter, allow yourself to come forward with a nice flat back. Take the tummy onto the thighs and then release. Just allow the body to rest down. Just allow gravity to take any tension, any pressure off the neck. Just let it hang. Lower back opens out. And if you're working from home, there's no excuse why you can't do this sitting at your desk. And then we're going to recruit the core a little bit, pressing into the feet. Just draw the belly button in towards the spine. Take your hands to your hips, and we're just going to draw that belly button in and roll back up to a lovely seated position. So we can do that again. Let's open the chest, look up. We release, and then tilting forward from the hip. Feel that core automatically engage to control that movement forward with a nice flat back. And then bringing the tummy onto the legs and allow the back to roll down. You might want to take the hands to one side and back to the other side. Back to centre. Take my hands back to my hips. Draw the belly button in towards the spine, pressing into the feet and rolling back up. Nice. Okay, so this time we're just going to take a twist. So we've moved the spine, we've flexed the spine, we've done side bends. So what we haven't done is rotated through the spine. So breathing in and exhale, taking left hand to right knee, basically one hand to the opposite knee. And I'm just going to use the hand at the back to hold onto the back of the chair, just to give myself a little bit of help. Don't pull, don't create tension, it's just to support you. Keep the spine long. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. So see if you can twist a little bit more, rotating from the ribs. And if it feels okay for you, turning the head. Inhale back to centre and do the same to the other side. Now you can do this a lot more subtly if you are in an office situation without the arms overhead, but it's just trying to get the length. We do that to try and get the length through the spine before we twist. But you can do that consciously. You all know what you're doing. Inhale, lengthen again. Exhale, see if you can twist a bit further. Important not to pull. Rotating from the ribs. Sitting bones nice and grounded. And release. Give yourself a little shimmy. You might just want to do some more fluid twisting movements. These are all things you can do. If you do these throughout the day, you'll feel a lot less stiff at the end of a computer-based day. Okay, lovely. If you wanted to do anything with your legs, obviously you can straighten one leg, just keeping the other one on the floor. Point the toes to the ceiling, get a bit of a hamstring stretch. Point and flex the toes, working the ankle. And to the other side. The most important thing is just to keep moving. Okay, so bring the palms together. Namaste everybody. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you find it useful. Just try it. No harm in trying.